Thank you all so much for coming here today, for riding the bus or taking a plane flight if you had one, and investing your time in defending, marching, working, speaking, and praying for innocent unborn human life. 41 years ago today, the Supreme Court of the United States made, I believe, the most abysmal decision since Dred Scott, and perhaps the most abysmal decision ever in the history of this country, by concluding that there was a right to privacy that included ending the life of your unborn baby. And Roe versus Wade, coupled with Doe versus Bolton, brought out a decision that said that abortion is going to be legal under any stage of pregnancy for any reason, even for the life or the health of the mother, or anything familial. Anything that could be an inconvenience was supposedly a justifiable constitutional right. Now, God in heaven knows that's not a right. He gave us the right to life, the right to liberty, the right to pursuit of happiness. That's clearly articulated in our Declaration of Independence. And these are prioritized rights. They're not just three rights that are jumbled together that they happen to throw down on a piece of parchment in the Declaration of Independence. Our founding fathers understood this profoundly. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. In other words, the most important right we have is the protection of life, everyone's life, from conception to natural death. And no life is more important than any other. The value of life cannot be measured. Our human lives are so important, so sacred, they cannot be measured against anything else. In fact, human life is a measure against which everything else is weighed. And so we have to protect the right to life for those who can't protect themselves, especially the unborn, whether they are in the last hours of a very senior life or whether they're in the first minutes after conception. We've got to protect those lives. And life takes priority over liberty, and liberty takes priority over pursuit of happiness. And so if you're out there pursuing your happiness and you're trampling on someone else's liberties, such as freedom of speech, religion, or the press, you can't do that, because the right to liberty trumps the right to pursuit of happiness. And in the same way, no one's liberty to have, let's say, get rid of what they would call an inconvenience. No one's liberty for right to privacy trumps or tramples on human life of any kind, let alone innocent unborn human life. That's how this matters to us and to this country. Life first, liberty second, pursuit of happiness third. Innocent unborn human life can't speak for itself. And so this society has plugged its ears from those voices that can't speak for themselves, and decided that if we can't hear them scream for mercy, we don't really hear them at all. Maybe they're not making noise. 50 million plus little babies have been aborted since a Roe versus Wade decision came down 41 years ago today. 50 plus million innocent little babies. That's 50 million pairs of shoes. That's maybe 25 million baseball gloves. It might actually be 50 million baseball gloves. All of these little people that didn't have the chance to live, to love, to sing, to dance, to raise their own family, to work, to play, to contribute to God's creation and the development of this entire planet that is His creation, all taken from us. And we carry a guilt as a country, but you're helping assuage that guilt. You're helping solve that. Every year that you come here, that you march, and every year that you speak up, and every year that you pray, you go back home stronger. God helps us. We try to help Him because He's given us these gifts to work with. And I would point out that of all of our prayers, we can't just ask God, fix this. Repeal Roe versus Wade, overturn that. We have to do all that He's given us the gifts to do, and then we ask Him. Or we can do all of our work and ask Him at the same time. But Mother Teresa said in the last years of her life something that was very profound. And it was this. She said, I used to pray that God would feed the hungry and clothe the naked and do this or that. And she believed, as I do, that He can do all things that He chooses to do in His time. But she said, now I believe that we pray, and that prayer changes us and we change things. And I believe that too. I think when we march, when we speak, when we build this network of the rest of the people that you're here in this March for Life today with, we build a network and we put our focus on this. And when we pray, when we march, when we speak, when we write, when we convince others, all of that changes us, and eventually we change things. So you're here changing things physically, by the things you say, the things you do, and the things we pray together. And so I wish I was here in the room today to convey this. I'm back in Iowa doing the job that I need to be doing there as well. But I know that we're going to come together someday in the city of Washington, D.C., and we're going to celebrate the reversal of Roe versus Wade rather than the January 22nd annual march that you're participating in today. Keep working, keep marching, keep speaking, keep writing, and most important, keep praying. Thank you very much for standing up for innocent unborn human life. God bless you all.